Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, we also take a look at the DXY today. While the price is just moving here on the weekend sideways, we want to take a look at the DXY to possibly understand what we can expect into the new year, and in the next few weeks, so nearly 2023 obviously, so only a couple of weeks left really in this year. Bitcoin is still, in my opinion, on its way down. You know that I'm expecting one more low for Bitcoin, so that hasn't changed. That would really only change if we get above this wave 2 high. I mean, we talked about this so-called descending wedge before. We said that Bitcoin is most likely in an ABC pattern. Other counts are possible here, but they would lead to a similar outcome. And my idea is that we are now in this C wave, and the C wave has a wave 1, a wave 2 complete, a wave 3, a wave 4 we are currently in, maybe finished. And there should be one more wave 5. A lot of you will remember, I know it's hard because a lot of people, now we see a few red candles, a lot of people cannot visualize that the current wave 4 might go a little bit higher. A lot of people can also not visualize that we're going to make a new low. I get comments from both sides. Bear in mind that sometimes it's just good to see the bigger picture. And we did that when we were, well, in October we were expecting one more low anyway for Bitcoin. Which then happened in a wave 3. What you normally would expect is quite a strong sell-off. Exactly that happened before we even knew about FTX. You will remember that I talked about this messy structure. It was extremely messy. I think I said it in every video, and I said that most likely there will be one more low as long as we stay below 21.7k. That should constrain us. We did get all the way up to 21.5k. A lot of people were bullish here, but I said there should be one more low for Bitcoin. Also here, we looked at short-term upside, Short-term upside, the same story as here. Looking at short-term upside, still possible for Bitcoin. It's not that we haven't come into a state or wave pattern where I would say we cannot have any more short-term upside. This is technically still possible. If you want to trade this is up to you because, let's be honest, there wouldn't be too much in there anyway. I mean, yes, maybe Bitcoin to 19k, it could be a nice trade, but still, we are still in a downtrend. The daily chart is clearly still down. Sometimes I get comments, I'm too bullish on Bitcoin. I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, I posted every few days for channel members on Telegram and Discord that the daily trend is still down. We are in a downtrend, very clearly in the crypto market. There is nothing around it. There's some coins which give more bullish wave patterns, but even these setups are currently getting challenged. But overall, for nearly every altcoin video, I've been telling you that we are going to expect new lows for Bitcoin as well. Ethereum is one where I could think maybe we won't see new lows. I was much more optimistic on Ethereum until FTX happened, because this crushed a nice wave pattern. It's still possible though that we won't see another June low for Ethereum. And then there's some other coins like Quant, Matic possibly, that are still looking okay. But with Bitcoin, the situation for me is rather clear, especially as long as we stay below this wave 2 high, which was created or hit which peaked on the, when was it? Early November it was at 21.5k. So really only if we get above 21.5k, that would be a really good confirmation that the low has been in. Or alternatively, if we see solid 5 waves to the upside, but then we could even get into a similar price range anyway, and then see 3 waves down, which would create a higher low when we have a decent higher high and higher low, which we haven't had for a while. No higher highs, no higher lows. Here you can see we made a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and a lower high. And that makes us, or that takes us into this descending wedge, which you would generally expect to be a bullish pattern, or at least not bullish pattern is the wrong word, but a reversal pattern that could lead to some upside, and maybe even end the bear market. But it's too early to talk about bullish. So, and these patterns, they generally create or take place or happen when a downtrend gets exhausted. So now that we've talked about one more low for Bitcoin, let's go into the shorter time frame wave count, and then we take a look at the DXY as well afterwards for everybody who wants to hang around. So short term, similar situation to yesterday. We talked yesterday a little bit about further upside. We had a bit of further upside. I think earlier today this was already broken to the downside, so we take a look at that. So what you need to expect, or what you need to understand, I do expect medium term one more low for Bitcoin, so into the region 14 to 14.5K. Short term, I also expect another low into the red support box. Ideally, we go a little bit higher, maybe a couple of $100 to get into the yellow resistance area as well. We take a look at that in a minute. The wave pattern here suggests that we are in an ABC pattern, ABC. This is not a very clear impulse, the wave C. It would be at best a diagonal, which a lot of people always ask me, you know, why, what is a diagonal? You can find these patterns easily on Google. Diagonal patterns, they are so-called motive waves. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail. Motive waves, so they would indicate that they are part of a, let's call it in this case, an uptrend, but they are not impulsive, so they are not strong enough to give a very strong indication. Yeah, when you have a diagonal pattern, a lot of people don't know that, but when you have a diagonal pattern, these are less reliable than, for example, impulsive wave patterns. So with an impulse, you get a very strong move up. Yeah, you get, let's say, a wave 1, you get a wave 2, get a wave 3, a 4, and a 5. It's a very clear trend. Not that. It's a very clear trend. You have clear indications as well. For example, the wave 3 should be at least the 1.382 Fib extension of wave 1, ideally the 1.618 or more. For example, wave 1 and wave 4 can't overlap, and so on. You've got 5 waves here, you've got 5 waves here, and you've got 5 waves here. Only in the corrective waves, you've got 3 waves. That's an impulse. It makes the life for analysts very, very easy. However, you can also get this, a 5-wave move, however, in a much more messy way. Yeah, you can get something like that, which is also a 5-wave move. Didn't paint this very nicely, but let's say you have here a wave 1 up, a wave 2, a wave 3, not as long as the wave 3 of the first example. You have a wave 4, which cuts into the price range of the wave 1. And there's much more to it, like how the substructures are created and everything. But that's a diagonal pattern. It just indicates, yeah, the trend could have shifted, but it's not that clear. And when you have a diagonal pattern, you need to wait for confirmation after. You need to wait for confirmation to really be very confident. In this case, it takes reliability out of the chart if you have a diagonal pattern. I did explain that in previous videos, because it's just not an impulse, and really only with an impulse you have a very clear indication. So, however, this could still be a 5-wave move to the upside, where the last leg up is still missing, or alternatively an ABC pattern. Also here I would expect some more short-term upside. If green or red, I don't really care. They are short-term going to move in a very similar way. It is still my primary expectation that we see some short-term upside. I'm leaning towards that, even though you need to understand that probabilities are reducing about short-term upside, or have been reducing since we've come down very, very strongly here. Because this decline over the last few days was not ideal. I'm still leaning towards short-term upside as long as we're holding this red support area. There's a few more things that matter as well, like the wave structure, which will happen on the way up now, and I'm going to talk about that anyway as soon as it happens. As soon as we see how we are moving up, I'm going to let you know my thoughts. But yeah, so that means we haven't reached the red support area. I think we should still, because if we go to the 1 hour chart now, in the last video we talked about ideally we get a bit higher. We did that in this wave 4. But it could be that we've already done it now. Yeah, we moved a bit higher. We didn't reach the yellow resistance area. This was resistance. And the fact that we didn't even reach it shows the weakness in the chart. Maybe we still will reach it, but as soon as we get below this B wave low at 16,650, it will indicate that we go down straight away into the red support box in a wave 5. So it could be that we've already done the ABC. It would be a very short wave C. We have an ascending wedge here, which is a bearish pattern. It means this trend is already getting exhausted, this very short-term trend. And we have a bearish engulfing candle that rather suggests, we might go down straight away. Yeah. Ideally, because of Fibonacci retracements, it would have been ideal to get into this yellow area. We can still do it. We haven't broken the lows yet. But yeah, as soon as we break the lows here, which is basically at 16,650 and 16,570. As soon as this happens, it would suggest we go down. at the moment in a wave 4, it would still suggest short-term upside because we haven't even reached it. Yeah? It would be very bearish if we go down straight away. So, and then we should reach here this target area, which is located between 16,400 and 15,880. From here, I would expect a move to the upside. It doesn't necessarily need to be a bullish move. It could just be a 3-wave move up and then a breakdown. So the red and the green count, they are only the counts that show us short-term upside. In the last video, I also showed you a scenario in which we move up, get into this area, move up in only 3 waves, don't make a higher high, and will then break down, go straight away to new lows. That's of course possible. It depends on what happens after we react to this support area. This is the next pivot point. Yeah, this is the next pivot point. If we see a corrective move up, it indicates we're most likely going to see an impulse down. And I'll warn you when it gets to that. Yeah. And yeah, but either way, I would expect personally, after we get into this red area, I would expect a reaction to the upside. And then we need to see, is it going to be the strong upside in the green or red count, or is it just a corrective move up that will break down? We're going to see that when we get into this area, yeah, and react to it. Okay. That's where we are with Bitcoin. So generally one more low expected, ideally a little bit short-term upside here into the region 19 to 20K, but then at the latest we should break down. DXY, what can we expect? Anybody who wants a stronger analysis, a longer analysis about the DXY, check my second channel. You can find the link in the description or on the website. I do cover it nearly every day. Here, the DXY is currently in a moderate downtrend. Started up here at around $115. In my opinion, only a wave A, because we finished off a wave 1 up here. So we're currently coming down in a wave 2, which could reach, let's say, $90, $80. However, this, in my opinion, is only the A wave. It's a 3-wave move, A, B, C. The C wave could be nearly finished. As soon as this C wave is finished, we should move up in a B wave, maybe to around $110 to $115. And would then come down in a C wave of wave 2 into the region, maybe around $80 to $90, maybe even a bit lower. But this will take months to play out. So what we are now in a situation where very shortly we should move up in a B wave. I've been talking about that for weeks. First of all, that we will come down here into the $100 region, and that we are already starting a wave 2. So that so far has played out. It's just that now, very shortly, we should see the reversal in a wave B. That would most likely have a negative impact on Bitcoin and crypto and so on. It could take Bitcoin to that new low. What we don't know yet, and this is where the uncertainty comes in, what we don't know if, the DXY has moved up a bit here in the last few days and started to recover, has broken 2 resistance levels, has broken out of this so-called descending wedge, which is only part of this general correction, right? But if we really carry on, it would take us to, well, let's say $115, $110, something like that. So some more upside, and that could take Bitcoin and crypto to a new low if you want it like that. You know what I think about correlations. I'm not a big fan of it, but still it's relevant. We have short-term correlations between crypto and the DXY and the dollar, yeah. So this is certainly relevant. What we don't know yet, is this already in this low? Yeah, we can still go lower as long as we stay below this wave 4 high. Breaking above $106 would be a strong indication that resistance is broken, and it would take us to around 108. That will be the next decision point. But above 106, I think this low is in, and yeah, that could unlock much more bearish potential for Bitcoin without making this last high that we talked about around 19 to 20K before we come down. It could send us down straight away. On the flip side, and this is entirely possible as long as we stay below $106, if we come down now straight away and maybe bounce off the $106 level, go down straight away here, reach the $102, $101 level, which is still possible here. I mean, we can count 5 waves down, but another low would be possible. You know, we can extend this wave pattern down. So we need to understand that we are pretty much at the end of this correction. you're never going to be able to predict this is exactly the last low until you see the reaction afterwards. So we haven't got 5 waves up yet. If we get 5 waves up, 3 waves down, and break above $106, I think the low is in here, and we're going to see some upside for the DXY over the next few weeks. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you're interested, check out the trading course on morecryptoonline.com. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.